This conference will now be recorded.
A very good evening to all of you present for the session today. Yes, so hope the earlier two sessions um, were informative and good. Yeah. So I hope the earlier two sessions were informative. So covered your GST syllabus as well. So today we will start with a new concept, which is banking, right? So, so are you ready for it? Shall we start with the banking concept? So just a brief discussion of how the banking goes in your tally, how the transactions can be recorded. Yeah. So all of you have logged into your tally software, opened your company books. So I think we can start up. Yes. Now, so far you have done with the vouchers, covering all your accounting vouchers, accounting come inventory vouchers, right? So all these you have covered, and we have also discussed with GST, including the GST component in the intrastate, interstate, and the other transactions as well, right? And of course, there was a discussion about the GST tax returns, reports, and everything, right? So we have gone through a complete discussion on GST topic. Now we'll go for a very different topic, which is banking. So, in how do we tackle the banking issues in Tally software? The moment we say banking, we have a check deposit, we have a cash deposit, we have a very important segment which is BRS, bank reconciliation process, right? So all these, how we can put up in the Tally software is what we're going to see now, right? So before that, I would like to ask you a simple question. I hope all of you have done BRS even when you were in first and second PUC. Okay, so if you remember, uh, do you know or are you aware of what do you mean by a bank reconciliation process? Yes. So because it's a very important segment and part of your banking, so if you know, in case you can just answer me that. Also, you can put up in the chat box. Yes. Anyone does have a clarity that what do we mean by a BRS? Yes. No one? Fine. So I'll just put up in short that share the screen with you. Yeah. So hope the screen is visible to all of you. Yeah. So what do we mean by the BRS, bank reconciliation statement, where usually it's a reconciliation process. I can say a verification, a cross examination, a cross verification of the company's books of accounts with the bank books. Nothing but the bank passbook or the bank financial statement. Right? So it is a process where the entries which are made pertaining to the bank in the company's books are cross-examined with the entries what are appearing in the bank's financial statements. So what is the bank balance appearing as per the company's books? Usually by the end of the month, okay, the same balance has to appear in the bank's financial statement as well. Okay, so this is how your reconciliation process takes place. So we'll just have an initial transaction, okay, covering almost everything. Okay, and then later on I will take you how to go about for the bank reconciliation process. Okay, so hope I'm clear. So let's start up. I hope all of you have logged into your Tallyprime software. Are you you are in your books of accounts? Yes. So I'm not having responses from you. Yes, Sakshi is only one responding, right? So let's go ahead with the other concept. So now I'm having a few responses. Good. Okay. So log into your Tally company, select your company, open your books of accounts. So let's begin. Yes. Yes, Shruti. Log in, please. Please. Now you can see a separate field here which is called as banking. Okay. Well, when it comes to banking, we make a cash deposit. We have funds, we have to deposit into the bank account. We go for a check deposit. So, how do we record? How can we see a deposit slip also in the Tally software? Okay. So, but before that, okay, now so far we have discussed that ICICI Bank is a sorry HDFC Bank is a company's bank account, but only for the banking purpose. I will make a small assumption that Axis Bank is a company's bank account because from here the process starts. Okay, the steps for banking starts. I'll repeat again. Now to discuss your banking concepts, we have to create the company's bank account. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be creating Axis Bank, considering it, assuming that it is the company's corporate bank account. Okay, so it is then only we can begin or we can have a clean process of all the entries, right? So what we're going to do is before we step on to the banking process, from gateway of Tally, we will go to the create option. Okay, so let me list out the topics which I'm going to discuss in your banking. First is create company's bank account. Second, transactions for cash deposit and check deposit. So print of deposit slips of both cash as well as check. Okay, and so first we'll work out for this. Then, as I told, last will be your BRS bank reconciliation process. Okay, So first we'll create the bank account and then update the opening balance and the other features as well. Okay, so let's start up. Yeah. So I'll go to the create option as usual. I'll go to the ledger. I'll create Access Bank, assuming that it is the company's official bank account. Comes under the group of bank. So cost centers no. Now account holder's name, the company name will come there. Account number. Now account number IFSC code will be available in the bank passbook and the bank's financial statements, right? Account holder's details. So here I'll just put it as 01 simple. IFSC code I just want to make an assumption. Needed information. Okay, like this. Next. See what is IFSC code and what is a SWIFT code. IFSC code is usually when it comes to your IFSC code, it is for domestic money transfers. Okay, but when it comes to the SWIFT code, it is for the international money transfers. So if I have to transfer money, let's say from my bank account to my relatives or to my friend or to any family member or any person within India, it's a domestic money transfer, and for which I will be using the IFSC code. Suppose I have to go for international money transfers. Let's say I have to send money from here to one of my what do you say cousin who's in USA. So they have to use the SWIFT code. So IFSC code for domestic, SWIFT code is for international money transfers. Now press enter. You come to the bank name. See, bank name it is coming as not applicable here. For the only reason because we are using a trial version, education version. Suppose if I'm using the licensed version of Tally software, for sure you get a huge or the complete list of banks available. Okay, otherwise we don't get it if you are using the education version. Bank name education version, you don't get the list. I hope you also got the previous experience where we were working on the contra voucher where we had to type the bank name manually in the bank name field in the bank allocation screen if you remember. The same procedure, bank name you don't get the list of banks. So in that case at least we can type in the bank allocation screen. But here if you have to give the bank name it won't be possible. It will come as not applicable. Why? Because we're using the education version. Licensed version means if you have purchased the software, for sure you get the complete list of parts. Okay. Next, branch. Okay. Next, when it comes to branch, so which is the branch of our company's bank? I'll give it as Jayanagar, 8th, 4th floor. Yes, so here is the case. Set or alter range for checkbooks. Okay, checkbook is see whenever a personal bank account is open. Oh, there was a time when we used to get 22, 25 checklists, even more perhaps. Why? Because at those times we didn't have the e-fund transfers, digital payment like Google Pay, Phone Pay, or everything had to be done either check or of course go to the ATM and withdraw. So now it is reduced to a large extent. Okay, so in case if I have to open a personal bank account also, hardly I get around 10 checklists if I have to open a SB bank account. It's only for the corporate bank accounts they give a bigger checkbook because they involve transactions of high volume. So henceforth, that time they will get checkbooks with good amount of chips. Okay. So now just activate it as yes. We get the check range here. From which number to which number we do have the checkbooks. Okay. So I hope you have observed. If you have not observed, please do observe. If you have yours or your parents' checkbook, the first leaf is there, right? There you get the check range from this number to this number. You have the check numbers displayed. Now, right? So, which means it will show you the total number of checks from which range the checks have been used. A small example I would like to give you in this case. Now you'll be writing your exams, right? So from this roll number to this roll number, the students are present in this particular room, room one, room two again, like that. So that from number and to number will be put up in the check book in the first slip or from usually be the first slip. So you can just cross check and you can see the check range. The check range only we have to give here from number and to number. Here I'll not give a complicated number, I'll just give a very simple number. But before that, let me make one more clear that a check is always a 6 digit number. Whether you take check or you take a demand draft for this DD, it always carries 6 digits. Okay, so here I'll be giving two number, assuming that we have got 25 check leaves. Number of checks we have is 25. Name of the checkbook. So I'll just give it as Access Checkbook 1. So like this you have to put. So please work on that simultaneously. In case if you are able to understand, you can just unmute yourself and you can just ask me. And regarding your logins in the NICT app, you get a clarity as soon as possible. Nothing to worry about that. Press enter. I hope you have done to this next shift. Yes. So I think I'll proceed. Enter. Enter. Come back to the main screen. Enable check printing. Make sure it is yes. Set and alter check printing configuration. What is this check printing configuration is? So you don't get the exact check leaf as you see in the banks. For our reference, we can also take a printout of the check leaves, of which the transactions are being done. So we can just activate it as yes. Set and alter check printing configuration as yes. Enter. So what is the screen? It is check printing configuration for Axis Bank. Okay, what does this mean is now you have your width of the check, height of the check, okay, cross check, check date, distance, parties or pays name is being given, amount in words, amount in figures, company signature details, everything is there. What does this mean is, see, usually there's one default measurement of a check leaf, right? These many centimeters it is, and from the date to the account pay details, we have this much of distance. We measure the check leaf. and the actual measurements we can put up in this particular screen. Now, suppose now ours is an Axis Bank check, right? So I take the exact measurements. I take the width of the check, height of the check. So what is the actual width? What is the actual height? I take the measurement. Accordingly, I update all the features here. Okay, so this is how we do it. And at the bottom, you have company signatory details. Now, usually, if we take our personal bank checks itself, we have our name displayed at the bottom, right? So in the check leaf, at the bottom we have our name displayed, our full name, okay, and above that is usually what we sign, okay. But when it comes to an what do you say, a company check, in the same way, it will be displayed, and the company's name will be displayed, okay, and most important, the authorized signatory's name also might be displayed. Okay, so accordingly, it will be put up. So now here we don't have the measurements. We have to measure and then we have to update. Also in Tally software, you have a sample format of the cell. Okay, and the sample format you can put here. If you can see in the right hand side of your screen, in the vertical button bar, you have the Alt B, copy from is being given. If you can view here, can you see here copy from is there? Copy from is nothing but you get a sample format of the checks measurement. So if you just press Alt B, yes, sample format.
What
Press
should I
enter.
press, ma'am? All?
Alt B.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you press enter, I'll show you again in case if you've not got. See, towards the right hand side of us, I'm having here B, below that I'm having one single line. So I told you long back that whenever the single line is Alt, double line is Control. So if you press Alt B, you get a sample format of the checklist. Okay, so copy from, just press enter, you get the sample format. So again, if you press enter, you get the default measurements updated like this. So you can measure the company's check leaf. More or less, it'll have the same values. In case if any difference is there, you can just update it. Not an issue. Okay. Like this, you can have the check printing configuration updated for the company's check. Okay. So once you finish off, you can save this by pressing Control A. Press Control A. You get a dialog box like this. Print, which means you want to view the check, preview the check, or directly print it out. Printing is not possible because you have not put up in one single entry. You can go for preview of the check. Select preview option and press enter. So like this you get. I'll just zoom it. Yes. It's just one sample format. So in the same way we can get our checks printed. This is for our reference. As though we don't get the actual check leaf and tally software to be printed. So you get a sample format like this. Okay. So how we get the usual check, right? On the right side we have the date, on the left side where it has account payee, and pay to whom. Then amount in words, amount in figures for the company's name. Then we have this authorized signature. Suppose I want only one signature, means that also can update it in Tally by going to the configure option. So if you go to the configure, here also you can make the check measurements. If you want, you can update it here. Some small cases are here. Suppose if you want only one signatory also, you can update it here. Check printing configuration. You can just come down. Suppose I don't want both means, just leave it up. Here, signatory one it has been given. You can also change it as authorized signatory. can make the changes, not an issue. That's it. So now if you go to preview, yeah, if you can observe, see, yeah, I made the changes. I will given as authorized signature. So there the person will sign. Okay. So this is how we can get a sample format of a check. You can I come press the escape key, okay, and I straight come to the opening balance. Okay, opening balance. Of course, currently my now as on 1st of April, the bank balance is around 10 lakhs. So I'll update the company balance as 10 lakhs. Enter. So please do make the necessary updations before we start up the entries. Okay, enter, accept yes. So now you've updated the company's background. Now let's start with a couple of entries now. Okay, right. I hope all of you are aware that your class will start at 6 o'clock, right? So don't be very late to join your sessions, otherwise it can be, not doesn't have a good effect. So make sure you join the sessions as soon as possible. Max to max at least by around 6:15, so that you can be from the beginning of the session. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up few transactions for both cash as well as for check deposits. And then we will see how we can tackle these entries in the Tally software. Okay. So I'll put up in the notepad. Right. So the first entry says amount of 10,000 deposited. Same your contra voucher only, but there is one addition to this. Deposited in Access. Amount of rupees 10,000 deposited in the Axis Bank. Second, by cash. Okay. Again, an amount of 23,000 has an amount of 20,000 has been paid to Ganesh Enterprises. An amount of rupees 23,000 has been paid to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of stock items. Okay, by check register to us by issuing check. By issuing. So these two transactions I've put up to show you how the cash deposit and the check works actually. Also, if you have given not a, I've given a cash deposit, check deposit after you check withdrawal I've given, check payments. Okay, and also I'll give one more check deposit entry. An amount of 10,000 received by check. An amount of 10,000 received by check by, let's say, SBI check, having check number so amount of rupees 10,000 received by SBI check having check number towards the sale of goods and mhm, Mirage Associates towards the sale of goods from Mirage Associates. Okay, and the same being deposited into the bank. Okay, so let's start up with that. Okay, so we have these entries. So let's begin with the first one. What the first one says, an amount of 10,000 deposited in Axis Bank by cash. So there's a cash of rupees 10,000 and I am going to the Axis Bank, which is our company's bank account, and I am depositing the amount. Okay. So now this entry, as usual, how you have passed your contra vouchers so far, the same effect. So after passing this, we will see how we can view them in under bank. Okay. So when you have made a deposit by cash to the Axis Bank, your cash is going out. Cash is a real account. It comes in real account. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash is going out, getting deposited into the bank account. So bank becomes the receiver there. Okay, so debit the receiver, debit access bank, and credit we have is cash. Okay, so let's put up the entry. I'll go to the vouchers. F4 contra voucher. Yes. So credit, cash. So how much we're depositing? 10,000 rupees. That is being deposited. So I hope all of you have done. Please check. Credit, cash, debit access bank. So enter. Yes. So bank allocation screen, access bank. Transaction type it is cash. How we are depositing? I told you a couple of times. Transaction type will be cash. F by cash and uh, depositing it the cash form. So press enter. So here you can see this, right? 10,000. So same thing how we put up for the earlier cases. 20 notes or 500 base notes. Okay, enter. So bring cash deposit into the bring cash deposit into the. So put up the relation and pass the entry. Accept this. And when you press enter, okay, what you can do is you can press the escape key. All of you press the escape key. Come to the banking. Under utilities, you have banking, right? So go to banking and press enter. And here, if you observe, you have the deposit slip. Press enter on deposit slip. Okay, there select Access Bank. Yes. So here it will be nothing. Why? Because it is a cash deposit. Okay, so if you observe here, can you see here F5 cash is there? Just press that cash. The entry will put up here. I'll repeat again. See you're in gateway of tally. Press enter on banking. Press enter on deposit slips. Deposit slip. Press enter. Select Access Bank. So here nothing is appearing, but we have to see the cash deposit slip. So we just press F5. Like this, you get this. Now, the transaction has already been selected. Now, how do you generate the deposit slip? Nothing. Just press Alt P. Print. But before that, you have to select the entry. Otherwise, it will not appear. So you can just press the space bar. First, the transaction gets selected. and then you have to press Alt print. So you go to current and you go to preview. Yes. So duplicate the same copy. Now whenever I'm going to make a cash deposit or check deposit, usually what we do, the small slip of the deposit charge will be given to me. The big step is taken care of. So, this is the banker's copy and this is the customer's copy. This is called the customer's copy. Okay. I hope all of you got this. Everyone who was unable to get. So you just take a 5 minutes break and then the session. Yes. So this is how you can view the bankers and the customers copy, where it deposited by, received by, purpose signatures, and of the banks. Communicated the statement. This is called as a cash deposit slip. Okay. Now, coming to the next one, which is a check deposit slip. So what is check? Withdrawal amount both are given. Now, check withdrawal sense payment term. So an amount of 23,000 has been paid to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of stock items by using by showing an access bank check. Okay, so let's go for it. For this entry, according to you, which type of voucher will you use to put up this entry? Yes, anyone has an idea about it? Which entry, which voucher will I use for this? Yes, yes. For the second entry, what is the voucher I will use? Yes, everybody has a response for that. Reply. Which type of voucher will I use to make payment to Ganesh Enterprises? Mhm. I'm not purchasing Kirtan. I'm making a payment towards the purchase. Because see, so far you have done so many vouchers. Now you should be in a position to give me the clarity for the same. Let me put up the entry for you again. Yes. Yes. So what type? Which is the voucher type you want to use for the same? Yes. Everybody has got response for that. Very good job. Very good job, area. It is payment voucher. Very good. Because see, the intention behind asking you the question is, I just want to know how far you are clear with the Tally software level. My answers I'll be giving, not a big thing. But from your side, if I get the response, I'll be even more happier. Satisfied that you have understood the concepts very well. Yes, it is a payment feature. Okay. So let me go back. Yeah. So I'll go back to this. We have made payment to Ganesh Enterprises. Why? Because it purchases stock items. So I'll go to vouchers, F5 payment voucher. Yes. So when we are paying to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of stock items, how we are going to put up the entry. Now the credit aspect should be cash or bank. I've already discussed with you. The credit side should be either bank or either cash, depending upon how we are making the payment. And the debit side should be the person to whom the payment is being made. So in this case, we are having as Ganesh Enterprises. So I'll read the entry again for you. See. An amount of 20,000 has been paid to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of stock items by issuing a state sorry, access bank check. Okay. So debit Ganesh Enterprises, you have to create it. You don't have Ganesh here. Now when we are making a payment to Ganesh Enterprises, I should categorize Ganesh Enterprises under which group in Tally software. Yes. Can I have the response? I'll repeat again. Now I'm creating a ledger in the name of Ganesh Enterprises. So I have to categorize him under one particular group means which group will I put up here if you read this entry. Yes. So Ganesh Enterprises will come under which group? It is what? Very good, Sakshi. It is Sundry. No. Read the transaction carefully. Read the transaction carefully. So still it is a debtor for you. It's a creditor. Good job. It is sundry creditor. We are making a payment, but we are not receiving the payment. Making payment is always a sundry creditor. That's it. Apart from this, you don't work anything on this. So Ganesh Enterprises will be created under the group of sundry creditor. Control A. Make it as on account. There's a one shot payment towards the old bill. So on account, and the amount is 23,000. Yes, now press enter. Access back. This is how you have to put up the entry. This completes the entry. Debit Ganesh Enterprises. Credit the giver, right? Access back 23,000. Okay, enter. Yeah, so now all of you have got this bank allocations. There are some changes. If you can see here, you have the check range and the check number automatically displayed. I have not assigned the check number. I have not assigned the check range. I have given at the time of creation of the bank ledger the name of Axis Bank. So if you can observe here within the check range, it is taking the check number automatically. Okay. This is how you see the banking practically. Press enter and don't make any changes here. So, being the payment made. Accept yes. Okay, so now when this print comes, you just ignore it. We'll see the banking case. So what you're going to do is, in case the such screen appears, just press the escape key. Again, press one more escape key and come back to the gateway of tally screen. Okay, so now you're going to go to the banking again. And of course, you have two ways where you can watch it. Here is a payment made, right? So you can go to the check printing, Check printing, the first option, enter access bar. So here you can see the Ganesh Enterprises check which is pending to be printed. Okay. So to select it, what is the key I've told you? You have to press the space bar. So just press the space bar, it will turn bluish in color. And now I'll give the Alt P, press enter. Hmm. Select this, it will appear. Okay. Yes. Check printing. Enter. Okay. Press the escape key. Come on. This is how you can print the checks. Yes. The next one says an amount of 10,000 received by SBI check having check number 907856 towards the sale of goods from Viraj Associates LLC and the same be reported to the bank. Okay, so let's go for it. So it is F6 to see poacher. Okay, so here now received by SBI check and the same is being deposited to the bank. Now bank becomes the receiver. Okay, but we have received from whom? It is Viraj Associates. Okay, and in which form it is in check form. So what we're going to do is Viraj Associates becomes the giver for our company because credit the debit the receiver, credit the giver. Nothing on your personal account, an is artificial person. Uh, so here we will put up on the credit side as Viraj Associates. Sundry. Now here we are receiving from the same from him. So it will be sundry debtors. Control A here. Okay, so here what you're going to do is on account you can go. So enter debitors, our company's bank account. This is the way we how we can put up the entry. You so enter this transaction type check 20,000. Here you have to use a check number 907856. Nine zero seven eight five six. Bank name space bar Union SBI bank check. So being amount received, and the same being deposited to the bank. Yeah. So the amount received towards the sale of goods and the same being deposited into the bank. Please complete the entry. Yes. If anyone has not got your unmute yourself when you ask the doubts, please stay with you. I hope all of you got it. Okay, so for you got this entry, shall we view the check deposit slip now? Yes. And anyone who has not got the entry, okay. So once you pass the entry, gateway of tally, go to the banking, go to deposit slip, go to Access Bank. Yes, here you can repeat again. Go to gateway of tally, go to banking, and the banking we have is deposit slip. Select Access Bank, go to check deposit slip. Okay, like this your entry will appear. Now press the space bar to select the entry and then press Alt P to print. Yes. Just to zoom Alt Z. So you can see in the bankers and the customers copy for checked accounts. Okay. Yes, usually it will be the horizontal table tabular format, right? It is the same way even here also. Okay. So if you scroll, escape here. So far we have put up three entries here. Okay. Now, all of you will go to the banking, go to check register. Please set check register there. 1 minute. Yes, I just want to have a clarity that have all of you got the check at the cash deposit slips or has anyone not got? You can let me know right now. Then I'll proceed with the check register. What is it I will do? So assuming that have you're clear with this, I'll just move on to the check register. Now what is the check register basically? If you can observe here, in the banking you have check printing you saw now. Okay, deposit slip you have seen. Now it is the check register. So what is the check register is? It is a register, a book which keeps a record of all the banking transactions pertaining to a particular bank. Here I have create taxes for kinds of companies that come, while the other banks will also be there. Okay, so okay, so this check register contains details of all the issues and payments. Okay, and also cancel check, blank check, all these information will be there. So what you're going to do is press enter on check register. Okay, so here you can observe, right? Now you are the check register. Here you can observe that total available checks is showing as 24. Why? Because you already used one check. Okay, then What is the concept of this unreconciled is reconciled means when bank reconciliation has not yet taken place for that particular check is and the bank, it covers unreconciled. Suppose they have gone for it, they have undergone reconciliation procedures, it will go twice. Okay? So now we are just press enter. Okay, so now press enter. Yes, so here you get the access bank. Again press enter. Yes, this is how you get the instrument wise report. So here you can see if you have done multiple check payments, right? Everything will be available here. See, the above is showing that under Axis Bank, in that particular check range, these many checks have been issued or made a payment on. So it will also show you the period. This is nothing but called as check register in tally. For cash, it will not appear. Okay, it's only for the check register. Okay. Now here, press the escape key. Yeah. So after check register, of course we have the concept of the see what is this post-dated summary basically is what is the post-dated check is. Now I have to make payment to one of the traders, suppliers. I have to make payment to one of the suppliers. Currently, as of today, I'm not having sufficient funds. Okay. Currently, as of today, I'm not having sufficient funds. So what do I do is when I issue him a check, I'll not write the current date. Rather, I will write a future date where at that point of time I'm having sufficient funds in the account to clear the payment. Okay, so that time, okay, so here, so when we give a future date, right? So that time it is called as a post date. Today's date is what 7th February, right? So I tell him to, I mean, in the check leaf, where it has 15th February, it should be on or after 15th Feb. The checks have to be presented for the bank for payments. Below that, the banks will not entertain those checks. That's called as a post-dated summary. Okay, or a post-dated check. Yes. Now here, coming back, yes. So now, cash and check deposits that I've shown you. Last we have is payment advice. Okay, so let's go to that. One more concept is the payment advice. What is this payment advice basically is? See, payment advice is a concept in banking where at the time of payment or issue of a check to clear anyone's bill, okay, we are sending the check, okay, as well as we will send an acknowledgement slip, an acknowledgement letter stating that we have made a payment of this much amount from our company to that person. Okay, so please confirm the receipt of payment. So what happens? The supplier to whom I'm making the payment, for whom I'm setting the bill, the person he will receive the check. and the letter, the acknowledgement letter, what I've sent, he's going to sign on that and he's going to send me back. So it is a confirmation that he has received the he or she has received the amount from our side. In that way also we have payment advice. Otherwise, monthly, whenever there is a salary credit to be made to all the employees, of course, suppose now there are 40 employees, 40 checks are not issued. Because checks treatment has been gone for years. Now only we have a refund transfer for salary and the other payments as well. So what happens is now the salaries have to be credited to the respective employees. Okay, one lump sum check is being given, having lakhs of rupees, but the bank will not have a clarity as to what purpose such a lump sum check has been used or has been applied for. That time, to the bank branch manager, a payment advice can be given that please do credit the salary of all the employees for this particular month, let's say for the month of Jan. Okay, so then what he does is he will, I mean, he in the sense the bank will transfer the respective amount of salary to the three employees. So that time also this payment advice gets given. So now we'll go for the easier one where we have issued a check pay. We have made a check payment, and that we're going to do the payment advice. So I'll take the old party itself here. See, earlier I've given an amount of 23,000 has been made paid to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of stock items mentioned in Access Bank check. So for the existing also we can see the payment advice. Otherwise we just put the entry again that uh, we have made one more payment of 15,000 to Ganesh Enterprises. So I'll just add the entry here. Amount of has been paid to Ganesh Enterprises towards the purchase of raw materials. Okay. So the same treatment will go to the payment voucher F5 debit Ganesh Enterprises on account to make it as 15,000 rupees. Sorry, 15,500. Credit access bank. See, I'll just show you the entry again. You can do it. Enter. See, can you see here? It automatically takes as check number two. This is the beauty of banking. So you not select the check number again and again. Once it has been arranged, specified, and given in the ledger creation window itself, when we are creating the Access Bank ledger, automatically it will start giving up the taking the check numbers. Suppose if there are any changes, we can do it. Enter. Yes. Being payment made towards the purchase raw materials. Accept, yes. Okay. Now you can press the escape key, come back to the banking, and here you have the payment advice. And now to whom have we cleared the payment? It is Ganesh Enterprises. So for which we want, we can issue the payment advice. I'll repeat it again. We have the gateway of tally screen, press enter on banking, payment advice, Ganesh Enterprises. See, for both it is there. For 20,000 as well as for 15. Let's say 15,500, I require the payment advice. So press the backspace, sorry, space bar. Press the space bar to select the entry and then press on to be current. Preview. Yes. And Alt Z or the zoom button to open. This is how it will be issued. A very important area in your banking, payment advice. So we just look over how the payment advice are executed. So which means that from NICT, we have made a payment to Ganesh Enterprises. See, dear sir or madam, please find below the payment details. On account, we have made a payment. Okay, an amount of 15,500. And how we have made a payment by issue of a check dated 2nd of April. The check number is being given and from which bank which the payment has been made from the Axis Bank. Okay, and what is the amount? It is 15,500. Kindly acknowledge the receipt. Thanking you. Authorized signatory. So here we will sign. In the sense, NICT signature will appear here. Receiver signature, that is Ganesh Enterprises sign and seal will appear here. So it's a confirmation. Acknowledgement kind is called as a payment advice, a very important area in your banking payment advice. Okay. I hope all of you have got this. Anyone who is unable to get the payment advice, let me know. Yes. Fine. So I assume that it is being clear. So I'll discuss the last concept, which is nothing but your BRS. Okay, so what is this bank reconciliation? I've always told you that it is a cross examination, cross verification of our company's books with the banks with the bank books, where the balances, bank balances as appearing in the company's books should be the same when you check out when you examine the bank books as well. That there should not be any kind of a differentiation. Okay, so we can do it up also the Tally software. So go to the banking, go to the bank reconciliation, the last one, and press enter. So you can see Axis Bank there. I press enter on the Axis Bank. Yes. Okay, so here you get the complete list of all entries. See, first we have made a cash deposit of almost 10,000. Then paid to Ganesh Enterprises twice. One is 20, one is 15,500. Viraj Associates, we have received a payment of 20,000. Entries are all there. But what is the bank date which is appearing there? It's empty, right? The bank date is nothing but it's a very crucial discussion. Bank date is, see, I'll give you a classic example. Now, when I'm making a cash deposit into the bank, I'm having 10,000 rupees and the same I'm depositing into the bank. So when we make entry in the passbook, the same rate only I will get because cash deposit happens on the same day. I'm having cash, I'm going to the bank, depositing the same means the date when I'm depositing it'll appear immediately. The same date usually. So here the date suppose on 2nd April if I'm depositing, the bank it also will be on 2nd of April. But when I'm making a payment to Ganesh Enterprises, I've issued here two checks to Ganesh Enterprises, one of 23 and one is of 15,500. Now I have issued from my side. I have made a payment from my side, okay, on a particular date. But is it a compulsion that moment I issue a check to Ganesh, he has to immediately present on the next day itself? No. Within 3 months, any date, he can deposit the check. So it is not a rule that moment I give, he has to go and deposit in his bank account. That is left to him. Within 3 months, he has to deposit the check. After that, the check will stand invalid because it will have got expired. So now, what does that bank date mean in that case? Bank date is the date when the check has got realized. In a sense, moment Ganesh Enterprises deposits the check into his bank account. Now, I have made a payment of 20,000 to Ganesh Enterprises and 15,500 to Ganesh Enterprises, right? So, I have issued a check to Ganesh Enterprises twice. So, moment I issue it, I will record the date of issue in my company's books that today I have issued the check. But what is that realization date or the bank date? What I'm talking here, the date when the check gets encashed, realized in his bank account. In the sense, in his bank account, it has to be credited. From my bank account, it has to get debited or subtracted. That date we have to put up in the bank date. Okay, so the bank date is the realization date. And coming to receipt, the same thing appears. Now, Viraj Associates has made a payment to us of 20,000 rupees. Now, the same check have a deposited on the same day means after 1 day, 1 or 2 days, the check gets realized. Usually, not like before. So, in that case, what is the realization date? The realization date you find nowhere but in the bank passbook itself. Okay, other than that, you don't find any other place. Probably the M passport, mobile passport, even banking, but whatever, it is a passbook where we can find that realization date. That realization date only we have to update here in the bank date. Moment we start giving the realization date, at the bottom, if you observe, it will show balance as per the company's books, amount not reflected. Here I'm talking of. Yes. Can you see this difference here? Amount not reflected in the bank, we have two differences. So this we have to sort it out. By the end, how it should appear is the balance as per the company's books is 9,94,000. The balance as per the bank should be the same. There should not be any kind of a differentiation. Both have to be same. If there's a difference, we have to find out for what purpose or where we have made an error. Okay. So here, since I'm using the education version of Tally, I can't give any other date other than 2nd of April. If I try to give first, it will not be alright. It will not be a good correct date. Okay. So what I'll do is, since I'm using the trial version, I'll give again 2nd of April itself. Now see at the bottom, what changes does it make? So the bank realization for all the transactions, I'm giving as 2nd of April itself. Yes. Okay, so now if you can see, right, both are matching now. Balance as per the company's books is 9,94,500. Balance as per the bank is 9,94,500. Okay, like this it has to. Once if it is done, you can just press Control A or accept this. That's it. It will get saved. So again, you go back, you won't find it. You find only the balance of report. Okay? This is how you do your bank reconciliation process in Tally software. I hope all of you have got this because it's a very important area in your banking, the bank reconciliation case. Yes, now anyone has any doubts regarding the banking, which I've done so far? If you have, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. Otherwise, I'll bring an end to today's session because, yeah, Saturday you'll be having your exams. So by Friday, we have to end up your sessions. Almost we have done 85 to 90%, but a small percentage is left out. Yes, so if you have any doubts, you can let me know in the last few minutes, otherwise, we can end the session. So I assume that all of you are clear with the concepts. So I'm bringing an end to today's session. Tomorrow, as usual, your session starts at 6 o'clock. 6 to 8 are your sessions. Make sure you log in on time. Okay? Thank you all.